Hello and welcome back to the Recreational Pilot. This was a beautiful day of flying. Went down early in the morning, grabbed the plane, went up the county afterwards. Picked up Devin later on in the afternoon, did some commercial training, landed at Ross Draver, got some food across the street at Dairy Queen. Took back off, did a little bit more commercial training, then went back to Allegheny County. Afterwards, I took a couple-hour break, then went out for dinner. Went over to Carroll County, Ohio, got some food there. And after I got done eating, I decided I should complete my 100 nautical mile night cross country for my commercial ticket. So I took out of Carroll County, went over to Mansfield, Ohio, had a little bit of a funny occasion there I'll tell you about later. Landed, then took the 2-hour journey back to Allegheny County. After the pain of opening up my hangar doors, grab the bar, hook it up, and pull the plane on out. Now the plane's out of the hangar, you begin your pre-flight. Start by turning your master on, turning all the lights on, and extend your flaps. Walk around, check your position light and your anti-collision lights. You see your landing lights on. Check the right side, make sure those lights are on, and make sure your position light on your tail is on as well. Go back inside, turn everything off. After that, you go around and you check your aileron. Make sure the bolt's connected, make sure there's no broken cables sticking out the bottom. Go around, check the wingtip, check the leading edge, make sure there's no cracks or dents. Check the propeller, check for the same thing, make sure there's no cracks or dents inside of it. Open up the engine cowling, check your oil. Make sure it's at proper levels. Right here it's pretty low, so I'll come back and add oil in a little bit. Check the right wing. Here I am checking the inside of the fuel tank. Probably should have checked the other side first, but no big deal. I'm not in a rush to do any of this. Sump the fuel. Make sure there's no contaminants inside the tanks. And I go around the right side and check over there as well. Look underneath. Aileron is good, connected and fine. Walk around the back. Tail is good. Check to make sure the rod and the bolts for the flaps are connected and not loose. Check the fuel tank on the left side. Sump it. Looks good. And there's one more sump right underneath the engine. Also, don't forget to check your nose strut and your tire pressure and tread. Now it's time to add oil to the airplane. I grabbed the funnel inside, grabbed a rag, quart of oil. What I like to do is I like to take the dipstick out and hang it on the corner of my propeller. Afterwards, put the funnel in and start pouring your oil. It's pretty cold outside, so the oil is kind of thick and I have to hold it in place for a bit. Once the quart gets empty enough, I angle it in a way so where it'll stay in place and drain the last little bit out. In the meantime, as it's doing that, I walk around and decide to start hooking up my GoPros. After you let it drain out for a couple minutes, you take the quart, close it up. Afterwards, you get your rag, take the funnel out. You want to wipe that up, clean it up, make sure there's no oil dripping anywhere else. Take your dipstick, put it back in the engine, and check your levels. In this case, it was just about 5 quarts, which is right where I want to be. Put the dipstick back in, hand tighten it, but don't tighten it too tight. Afterwards, you take the quart, take the funnel, close up the cowling, make sure it's latched in properly. Afterwards, you take your quart, throw it away, and put your funnel away, and you're good to go. And to finish up, just close up the hangar doors. So unfortunately, I accidentally had my GoPro on time lapse. Therefore, all of the audio is gone. So the video was sped up pretty decently. Not a big deal. Still great visual shots, which is quite honestly all you need. That and mixed with some other videos that I had with my phone. It was a beautiful flight. Just take a look. As you can see, it was a beautiful day. Had a lot of great footage, had a lot of fun on this trip. Very smooth, very calm. Came down, landed very smoothly. One of my better landings, I must say. Really happy with it. Went home for a couple hours, came back up late in the afternoon, then we started flying with Devin. So after I got home, I ended up falling asleep for a couple hours more than I was originally anticipating to. I told him I'd be up there around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 12 o'clock in the afternoon, around there, ready to go. He gets up there, pre-flights the airplane, gets ready for flying, and he doesn't hear anything from me. So he takes the aircraft for a couple laps in the pattern while he waits for me.
Yeah, we're gonna take this thing up. I don't know where Alex is, so sorry, bro. We're taking your plane. Peace.
Allegheny County Ground, November 2456 Delta Tomahawk at corporate air with Mike, like taxi to the active.
Tomahawk 2456 Delta, Allegheny Ground, runway 31, taxi via Bravo.
31 via Bravo, 2456 Delta.
56 Delta, same direction of flight.
We're going to stay in the pattern for right now.
Ops 1, Allegheny Ground.
Those radio communications you just heard there were the only ones captured the entire day. Between my camera being set on time lapse or the audio cable being just disconnected to where it wasn't picking up anything. So sadly, because of all that, I'm not able to share with you any cockpit communications when Devin and I were flying together. Finally came time to where I was started to fly with Devin. Got up to the airport, he was there waiting for me already. Taxied over 3-1, took off, then we flew southbound. Here we did a couple chandelles. Not that hard. Was able to handle them pretty well. Afterwards, we decided to land at Ross Driver and take a lunch break. We then parked the plane, shut her down, and walked across the street over to Dairy Queen.
What do you think, bro?
What's up?
What do you think?
Oh, I think we're gonna have an amazing time flying. It's a beautiful day. Looking forward to it.
Sick. How'd you like chandelles?
Honestly, it might have just been, could just be beginner's luck, could just be a fluke, but it was much easier than I was anticipating it to be.
Yeah, don't have to overcomplicate it and we'll get it right.
At this point, Devin took controls, he took off, he flew us out to the practice area. After we got out there, I took over, did some lazy eights, had some trouble with them. He showed me how to do a few of them. Still was a bit difficult for me to be able to comprehend and be able to perform. So we decided to call it quits for the day and went back to Allegheny County. And a few hours later, I decided it was a good idea for me to go out and get some dinner over at Carroll County. Their food there is amazing. Kilo, Tango, Sierra, Oscar is their identifier. If you're ever out in the area, I'd highly recommend stopping there. Then I decided, since I was already out there and 60 some miles away from the airfield, why don't I just fly another 50 miles away to another airport and come on back and knock out my 100 nautical mile night cross country. Well, that's exactly what I did. I went out over to Mansfield, Ohio, but when I was out there, I didn't realize that not only does it have to be 100 nautical miles, it also has to be 2 hours of length. So what I did was I popped the flaps to 20 degrees, cruised at 65 knots all the way back, and turned that hour and 20-minute flight to 2 hours. When I was out there, I had a little bit of a funny occurrence with the tower. They gave me their number. It's a little bit of a funny story, which I'll get into in another video, which goes into a different topic. But it was a pretty nice flight. Had flight following on the way back. I did not have GoPro footage on the way out there, and my GoPro along the way there did not capture any ground audio either. The last portion here is when my battery died. I restarted it and ran it on time lapse, and this finished up my night. It was a beautiful day of flying. I could not have done this without having my own plane, which is one of the great benefits of being an aircraft owner. You're not working off anybody's schedules. Whatever time's good for you is when you go. So that's it for this video. Until next time, this is Recreational Pilot. Enjoy.